Alrighty, welcome everybody. So this is episode 9 of the Pinball Post. Welcome for September 7th. We've had another great week of at games drama, if you will. Welcome to the stream. It's Hugh Man this time. I think it was Human or HU Man last week. So Human, welcome. Pinball Wizard, Billy Woods Mods. Howdy chat. Hope you're doing well. Awesome. Pinball Wizard again, good luck, see ya. Billy Woods Mods, love your content. We all love your content, Billy Woods, man. And Ryan Gong, welcome as well. Alright guys, so we got another great week of information and stuff that happened during the week, and we got a lot to go over despite having not a lot to do necessarily. So we've had all kinds of alternate tournaments to do and things like that. So all kinds of fun to talk about. So thank you for spending a little bit of your time tonight just going over some of the pinball news of the community, and we will go from there. Sun said the pun didn't work as Human. Alright, so Human works even better. I love it. So, good stuff. Alright, so this week we're going to start off with the content creator calendar, which we like to kind of cover the stuff that's coming up for the week so everybody's up to date on what's going on. And we got 6 people in the chat already. We'll see how it is. I know it's the first week of NFL football, so I've spent most of my day watching my Bengals barely squeak out a victory. And then, of course, the Lions absolutely laying an egg against the Green Bay Packers. So it's been a day for me as far as that goes. So welcome, Tim. I'd love to have you, man. Yeah, he's on my Facebook today talking about our cats. And my cat is actually here. So I have a special guest. This is Coco. She decided to hang out in my office tonight, so she's a little camera shy, but she is here. So anyway, she'll be floating around in the background probably. So at any rate, here is the content creator calendar for this week. So we have a packed week as usual. Obviously, you're here for the Pinball Post, which is at 9:30 on Sundays, as it is every week. Tomorrow night, because we had a new release, we had 3 new Williams games come out. The Wizard Room is going to be doing their playthrough on Tomato Grass's channel. So, Mad Ben Han, welcome to the stream as well. So, I think he's got Chelada Love, Skull Joe, and Tomato Grass. I'm not sure who the 4th person is for that. So, if anybody knows offhand, Mad Ben, perhaps you're the 4th. I'm not really sure. Pinball Wizard, I know you've been on there as well before. So, definitely. There's going to be some high-end gameplay tomorrow talking about Whitewater, Hurricane, and Red and Ted's Roadshow, which have all been fantastic releases, or a really great release this last week. So, really fun. And I failed to get notified about the show starting. The Beamy! You're here pretty quick. You didn't miss much, so welcome, and glad you're here, man. Tuesday, as always, we have Chelada Love. He's going to be doing his Flipper Friend Tuesdays, even though we don't have Flipper Friends, so he'll probably cover the 3 tables again. I would imagine he would do maybe a little bit of EPX. He does kind of a really cool scroll wheel where it just randomly picks a game and they do it that way. So that's really cool. You get to get some eyes on some games that you probably don't know about or never seen. If you've gone through my reviews of packs or tiers, you may know of these games and have seen them somewhere along the way, but Chelada Love goes through and does some gameplay of those just at random, and he just kind of plucks them off, and he's found some real gems. So there's a lot of great games out there. We've also been playing them a lot on my Discord's tournament called the Daily Grind. So those have been some games that we've really picked up that have really been fun too. This week we played Monster Bash. We played today it's been Theater of Magic. We played Frontline. We played Chucky. We played so many good games this week. It's been absolutely amazing. And there's been a lot of personal bests we've been going up too. So that's been a really cool tournament. I didn't expect it to be as popular as it has been, but with everybody off and with Flipper Friends not happening, it's been really nice to be able to have a day to tackle a table and then move on. And if you didn't like the table or you didn't have it, so what? You missed the day. Not a big deal. Wednesday's completely blank this week. Nothing going on. And then Thursday, we have a release of Stargod Deluxe, which we'll cover a little bit later. Chelada Love, again, will be doing his Thursday at noon VPX stream, which is usually about 2.5 hours or so, so he does some really good stuff there. I'll do my 4:30 stream for the release on September 11th for Stargod Deluxe. which is I typically do about an hour and a half or so for the individual releases. We'll see. It might be an hour. I don't like to spend too much time on them. And then I go back and review them, and that usually comes out in a couple of days. And then, of course, Yo Retro with KaoticBPR and Half a Dozen Six will be doing their show on Thursday night at 8 o'clock to cover Stargod Deluxe and, of course, any news that comes up as well. And then Friday, you have Papa Brad's Gaming Show. His at 9 o'clock on Fridays, and he also has a Retro Legends tournament that kind of goes along with that as well. So definitely check those out if you're so inclined. All kinds of crazy stuff going on for the week. So our topics this week are basically from the thumbnail, if you've probably already seen, our firmware. Is it fixed yet? No, it is not. Purchase problems was another big problem this week. We've seen quite a few different people have issues. I think everyone had a problem buying Volume Pack 4 when it came out for 4KP. I think that's the first week that we've had problems with that. I certainly did not have an issue with that prior to this week. Pinball Wizard tipped me off that it was going to be an issue, and I was very glad that he did, because it did require a little bit of extra work. I actually did a video on it. I couldn't even download games. So on 9/3, I released a video showing people how to download their games the old-fashioned way, going to the website, actually buying it on the website, getting a code in your email, entering that code in, and then waiting the extra 5-10 minutes or so for it to show up in your digital locker. I think most people got away with that and did okay, but there were some people that just it did not show up in their digital lockers, and there were some issues. So go figure. Issues with games? Yeah, I know. Craziness. Dennis Manguel, welcome to the stream as well, man. He's been doing some great streaming content as well, so if you have not subscribed to Dennis Manguel's YouTube channel, definitely do that. He's been doing all kinds of good stuff. He did quite a bit of stuff with my Daily Grind tournament, just because we've been covering some really cool tables, and so he's been covering some of those. And then Dennis B also, you'll notice him on the leaderboards all over the place, has been doing his foul mouth tutorial videos as well, so really good stuff. So, alright, next up, let's talk a little bit about the craziness news that came out. And this is not really news. I mean, it's stuff that came from @Games. So if you're not part of Facebook, and I know a lot of us are not, I try to get this stuff on my Discord, and I try to put this stuff on here so that if you're not part of Facebook, you actually see what the news actually is. I forgot how antiquated the old way of downloading was. It worked though. Yes, Tim York. Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. And Hockey Town, welcome, man. So this was the update that we got from @Games on September 3rd, early last week. It basically said, yeah, there's people that locked out of machines despite payments, so they know that that's an issue. The sound effects kit is lower than before. I don't know anybody who has that issue necessarily. I don't think that it's lower than before. I'm not really sure about that one. Gottlieb tables definitely are missing sound for quite a few people. Missing solenoid menus and controls. This one has been huge, especially for people who've just bought a system. And we'll talk a little bit about that too. With the sales that have been going on, they've been putting more cabinets into the community that are essentially broken the day they get them. And so for some people that are buying these things, the solenoids by default are on, and they're incredibly loud, and they can't turn them off. So absolutely maddening why they would do that, or why they would even push that at this point. Rodley Smith, I can't even play my 4K machine, they locked me out. Oh, dude, that sucks. Now, is that due to the affordable financing program? Like, you're making payments on it, or is it something else like that? Please let me know in the chat there. I've heard these stories over the course of Facebook and through my Discord and a lot of different places. I checked Mox's Game Room, Arcades Anonymous. It's just amazing to see some of the stories of what people are having to deal with. And there's a lot of people that have just said, screw it, I'm done. Sadly, there's been lots of people. So yeah, it sounds like you're part of the affordable financing. Yeah, they just cannot seem to figure out who paid them and who didn't, and keep track of that on a month-to-month basis. It looks like I've heard a lot of people who they've been locked out. They make a payment, they're okay, and then they get locked out again before their next payment, and it's just like, come on, man. Very frustrating across the board. So the stories of these people that are really struggling. I feel for all of you. And then, of course, you got the HD folks who, well, in some ways, as HD has actually gotten better. I've noticed I no longer get a UUID error on startup, and I've actually had tables actually upload scores. When I got on my micro today, it actually uploaded a score from God knows when. I'm not sure when. I played a couple of games, I got back off, it recorded the scores. The leaderboards online are broken. If you try to go and look at them, they're not actually there. They're not aware of being able to do that. And Dennis also says, I hope they fix the firmware before it hits Sam's Club. And they are not, dude. I have heard, I want to say there was a couple people who said they actually bought it at Sam's Club and it was not fixed. That the solenoid issue was in fact there. They couldn't turn the solenoids off, and they essentially bought this product that now they're having issues with amazingly right away. So I got it June 28th, made my payments, and then did the Firmware paid one on the 4th, and the other one came out automatically on the 27th. Dude, that's just frustrating, man. The fact that they can't seem to get this right, it's absolutely maddening. Tim York says, I'm randomly getting a 3-screen lock with a loading swirl. It's usually 45 seconds to a minute, and then the next time it loads up fine. You're talking about the startup? I've seen that for mine too. It's really slow on startup, but it's been processing okay. It eventually gets there. Coco, do you need out? So much for the guest stars, huh? She wanted out. Too much talking apparently in here, so... Yeah, Ryan says I have to sign in every time I turn on the micro, and it took forever to sign in after opening the machine. My solenoids don't work right anymore. Ugh, firmwares. Ugh, you know, we could talk about firmware stuff forever, man. It's so frustrating. Terrible first impressions. Yeah, and they're selling these things right now to people, and it's really ridiculous. We're only halfway through this stuff. We got the sign-in issues. We got password reset issues. That I have not heard a whole lot about password reset issues. But I know sign-ins have been an issue forever, really. My HD, and now that I've added a additional Wi-Fi booster to my upstairs, now I no longer have issues with the micro actually logging in. But I thought it was just, I know that the Wi-Fi transmitter on that thing is incredibly weak, so I upgraded with a little Verizon box that you put on the wall for a plug that helped. Invalid UUID errors on HD systems. I think they're starting to get some of this stuff fixed. Blaze in my Discord, and he's also really popular in the VPX community on Mox's Game Room, is definitely tracking some of this stuff. I'm not sure at what capacity he is tracking this, but he seems to have a really good understanding of what things are going on behind the scenes with the servers and stuff. So he's starting to see that stuff is getting turned around. It looks like on-device purchases have been restored on the 4KP, from what I can tell. So it looks like you can actually go ahead and do those now. In fact, we'll flip over to my machine and we'll just show that real quick. So if you come down here to, I'm doing this from afar here. Okay, so if I was to go to, so there's Magic Castle. You can see it's still a green arrow, so it is not updated as of yet. We're still waiting for a patch for that one. But if I come over to, let's say, I have Attack from Mars, I already have in my system. So here you can see the on-device purchase is actually available now. So the affordable financing has been a disaster. You are not kidding, Billy Woods. It has absolutely been a disaster. I think they wanted to try to give people an option to get these systems into people's hands, and it just has not gone very well. I wired my machines direct with Ethernet cable. Still slow logins as long as it's just weak Wi-Fi that's slowing it down. If it isn't just Wi-Fi. Oh, jeez. Pinball Wizard says, and happy Sunday, Chalada Love. Welcome to the channel, man. So yeah, digital locker items not appearing. This has been the one that's probably the most frustrating to me. If I was these users, I'm buying things and buying it the old-fashioned way from the website and still not being able to get those games on your system. Holy crap! Talk about frustrating. Then you have to throw your name into the queue and just wait. And it can be. I've heard some people say it's a week before they even respond to you. So not even the automated response. So it's been really bad. And then of course table rankings on the system has not been functioning as well. That's another thing we can look at real briefly here. So if you go over to your favorites and you say you want to look at, so we've been playing Theater of Magic for a lot this week. So if we click on here, you'll notice rankings is no longer available unless you go into the game. So yeah, real frustrating because you have to actually go into the game to get the ratings beyond the top 10 that are visible there. So, and Tomato Grass actually upped his personal best to 18 billion here, and I'm not sure why mine hasn't updated yet. I think I have to do a full reset of the system before that actually becomes live. Really weird. Stuff like that just is really frustrating. So, at any rate, he showed me a picture of it in the Discord, so I know it's live and I know it worked. But anyway, At Games confessed that they are working hard behind the scenes. It's been a couple of weeks now. It's been, what, two and a half weeks. So we're hoping we'll hear something. But again, if it takes a little extra time, so be it. I have been loading issues off and on as well. Yeah, okay. Most likely with the system working again, they'll be trying to do the sale, make up for the problems. So, yeah. In fact, let's jump to that real quick. So, that was kind of an interesting thing. And, well, let's cover this first. So, right here, jumping ahead a little bit, but here we go. At Games mentioned that they're doing their sales, right? So, they're selling systems knowing that they're broken. They did Addams Family last week. This weekend, it was the Jurassic Park version. So, diving into sales, they have all sales, but this is between the 5th and the 8th, so it'll be done tomorrow, but this is what, since Thursday, I believe? Right? Something like that. The 5th? Yeah, so Friday I guess. So Friday to Monday, they've had these sales available for these additional systems. And then, of course, you had mentioned here that they are allowing them to be in Sam's Clubs now. So, again, like, what are we doing? I would think that they would have held off on these sales for these systems, knowing that these people are going to get these systems, they're going to hate those solenoid sounds, and they're not going to be able to turn them off. And to me, this is, you talk about breaking trust immediately. I don't know about your guys' buying experience, but when I bought my HD system, one of the flippers didn't work, so I had to take it apart the day I got it to make sure that the connections to the flipper fit or worked. It was too loose, and so it was disconnected, and I had to reconnect it. When I got my 4KP, I got it put together. I didn't realize there was a on the very bottom of my table, there's a smash in the bottom of the box. I never even noticed it. It's not that big a deal. But my left flipper didn't work. So again, day one on a brand new product, and I get it. They're a heavy item. They're being shipped. Some jarring and bopping around is going to happen. But I had to take it apart again, and it was the solenoids on the left-hand side were completely disconnected, or the flipper connections to the board were completely unplugged. So once I plugged it back in, we were good, and the popping started, and I was like, the solenoid's got to go. But if you buy them now, you can't even turn that off. So, incredibly frustrating. Anyway, so that is an issue that they're dealing with. It is very frustrating. I don't know the good solution to this other than they just need to get it fixed. And we also mentioned sales. So let's talk about that real briefly. That was something it's a little goofy too. So here, I think this was announced on Friday, maybe Thursday. I'm getting my days mixed up here, but At Games, again, mentioned, are going to have a big sale on HD pinball packs. Now, what's interesting here is the wording. The wording is really, really strange on this. It says, get ready, pinball fans. All non-Zen Legends HD pinball packs for your Legends Pinball HD are about to drop to 50% off. Does anyone else find that to be really funny wording? So, HD pinball packs apply to the HD system, right? When we buy Magic Pixel tables for the 4KP, they're still listed as 4K packs. They are not HD packs. So, all non-Zen
packs on the 4KP are still 4K packs. They're not HD packs. So the wording is really interesting on this because they said all non-Zen Legends HD pinball packs. If you're buying it for the HD, the Zen tables are not available on the HD system as of yet. Now, in the future, the HDP that we've talked about is going to have to happen. That is going to be a thing, and there will be Zen tables on that. And there'll be HD pinball packs on that. But again, the wording on this is really confusing because it is not accurate. If you look at this, it's implying that the Magic Pixel tables on the 4KP are, in fact, HD pinball packs, and they are not. So, really strange wording. Again, I don't know why they continue to confuse us with this. Obviously, in the background here, they're showing all HD capable games that are on the 4KP and the HD system. None of these tables are non-compatible with one or the other. It's just a matter of whether or not they got the 4K version or the HD version. So, and they're not compatible with each other. You cannot buy the HD tables and have them work on the 4KP. So to word it like this is really, really strange. Now, I will say I'm very excited to get some of these tables again on my micro for 50% off. A lot of the newer tables, all of the deluxe tables, the Primal Carnages, I have not repurchased on the micro. I think the only one that I have currently is Moonflight, which I got from a Ryan Bethesda in the HD community. Actually gifted it to me. That was a really nice thing for him to do. He had bought an additional copy of it somehow accidentally and wanted to give it away, and I was like, dude, I'll take it. I love that game. So he was able to give that to me. I wonder if this copy was with a promo sale for written, assuming their upcoming HD system would be on the market. I think you're right, Pinball Wizard. That's kind of what I'm alluding to. If the HDP had been announced already, this would make perfect sense. I think they're just letting this go a little early. So, do they have search on their website? I can never find tables by name, especially when they are in a pack of several tables. I'm not really I don't think they have a search necessarily. You can look at if you click on the individual packs, you can see what games are in them, but not really. Support has always been bad, says Billywood Mods. When I bought my HD, I had to file a case with a credit card company to deny payment in order to take action. Ridiculous. Goodness gracious, man. And these stories, we hear them every single week with this stuff. Like, this is just absolutely maddening. So, I get it, man. It's been a frustrating thing. And every time we think that we're going to get something fixed, it seems like something else is broken. I do think that they're making progress, from what I can tell. Like I said, on the HD, I think the UUID thing seems to be going away. Some of the packs, if you go to look at the packs on there now, you'll notice that it says that there's specifically compatible only with the pinball machines, not the Legends HD systems. They're really starting to align a lot of their stuff for purchase, I think. I was even wondering, I asked Blaze the question whether or not it'd be possible to do purchase on device with the HD systems. He didn't get back to me, but I don't even know if that's possible or not. I think it would be awesome if they could do it. These sales are all over the place with Billy Woods. Yeah, it's really, really interesting. So what was funny is, in all of this happening, we're still getting games. So, which is good. I mean, they're selling us games, but we're having problems buying them in many cases. So, as you know, we got Williams Pack 4 this week. I did a lot of people did game impressions and stuff like that. I also did a review on this. I gave Hurricane a 7, Red and Ted's Roadshow a 9.5, and Whitewater an 8. If you've not seen my review of it, shame on you. You should have watched it. It's a great review. Anyway, those are my ratings of the tables. You can argue with me all you want. That's how I feel. So, it is what it is. So, we're still getting tables. We were still able to purchase these, but there was definitely some issues getting that. Obviously, we talked about how it went down, and it just did not go as planned. And then, of course, we got one that I actually predicted a couple of weeks ago. You remember this one? Stargod Deluxe. Now, this is one that we talked about a couple weeks ago. I knew it was coming based on the old schedule from January, February, or I think it was mid-January that it came out. It's a very loose schedule, but it's been pretty close to accurate. It's been a couple weeks off here or there for Magic Pixel and for the At Games Originals, which they're behind on, but they're still coming out. And by At Games Originals, I mean specifically games like Firefighter Wildlands that came out. So Blaze got back to you on it. It would require a firmware update and likely a new OS. Okay, so Blaze did get back to me. Thank you, Pinball Wizard. I did not see that, so I would have to check that. Real Creamer Williams Volume Pack 4 is excellent in his opinion. Yes, I agree with you. I personally loved Williams Pack 4 way more than I did Williams Pack 9, which just came out with Whodunit, Pinbot, and Taxi. I think this pack just blows it away. All three of the games are much better. Hurricane, for example, is an older table, and if you have nostalgia for it, you're going to love that table. I don't necessarily do, and it just didn't resonate with me, but Red and Ted's is a great game. Has some incredible music. It's just everything about that game. The sound effects absolutely rocks on that table. And then Whitewater is super chill, but it's just a really solid game. If you start to get into the nuance of the rule set, you're gonna love that game. It's absolutely awesome. Primal Carnage. Still have nightmares about that one, Billy Woods. Dude, yeah, Primal Carnage was not good. So, and if you watch the episode of Yo Retro this week, you'll notice that KaoticBPR did kind of show a little bit, a glimpse of Primal Carnage Remake when he was one of their beta testers. He actually has it on his system. You can kind of see it in the background, but that's a little bit. And he said that one apparently was canceled. They were going to release it, and it just was so bad they didn't even release that sucker. There's supposed to be 4 of those tables, and there's only 3. So they maybe didn't sell that well. More like Primal Garbage. Primal Hot Garbage. Yeah, they're not good. I know a lot of people like the Primal Carnage Retro. I'm here nor there on that. I like the Primal Carnage Deluxe a little bit, but I wish that they would fix the capture holes. They kick out in weird directions, and it ruins the whole game. So, Primal Carnage, only 3 tables I didn't buy on 4KP. I hate them, and I have them on Micro. Pinball Wizard. I totally get it, man. So back to Stargod Deluxe. This one's actually pretty good. If you guys have never seen this table, I will show a better, more in-depth picture of it here. So this is Stargod Deluxe. I think this is a pretty cool table. If you've not seen this one, it has some really cool, kind of Game of Thrones-y type of thing. Call it a Temu Game of Thrones type of game. It's got a little bit of mythology type going on in it. Maybe Clash of Titans is a better comparison. It's got kind of these, I'm not sure what they call these, Gorgons, I guess, is what it would be from the God of War series and things like that. They have these different characters. These are animated throughout the series. So that is the table, Stargod Deluxe. This comes out September 11th, and this is the one that I said would be coming out September 11th a couple weeks ago. I was pretty convinced that was going to happen. And for my next bold prediction, I think that Tropical Deluxe, this one is going to come out on the 25th in 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks from this coming Thursday. So this is another one. Has a ton of flippers. I think there's 10 flippers on this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, 10 flippers on this sucker. So if you like flippers, you're going to love these tables. Kind of crazy. But I expect that this one will probably be announced in a couple of weeks for the 25th release. But this week we got Stargod Deluxe coming out. And like I said, I think this one's pretty good. The way this one works is that you shoot the ball up this ramp right here. There's a ramp here and the ball comes around. This character here will grab the ball and he'll just place it up on the upper playfield. There's no direct route to get it up there. It's just you shoot this and he'll take it and put it up on the upper playfield. So it is what it is. Magic Castle Deluxe. Yeah, hopefully this one's not broken. They need to do some testing with it for sure. I hope that they learned from that and they won't do that again. I disagree, RTX. The following table will be House of Diamonds Retro Remaster. Dang it, Dennis B. No, it will not be House of Diamonds Retro Remastered. We all want that, right? We all want that table. No, we don't. It's become a running joke in my Discord about House of Diamonds Retro because it was so bad. We all hated it. We were playing on Flipper Friends, as most of you know, and it was a god-awful display of game. So, I tell you what, you guys continue to get me on that all the time. I love it. So let's show some real quick gameplay for Stargod Deluxe. Let me pull this up. Real quick gameplay. Let's start this over actually. Sorry about that. You missed the first portion of it. Stargod Deluxe. Now, last time when they showed us Magic Castle Deluxe, you could see that they had the problem before they even released it. They don't show the ball getting caught by the Gorgon and putting it up to the playfield this time, but he does that motion. That is not when he captures the ball. But anyway, that is Stargod Deluxe. So interesting, to say the least. And while I've got this up for Facebook, I want to show one other thing that came out this week that is really, really cool. This is attract mode. So if you do not have attract mode for your system, KaoticBPR, who I mentioned before, he's part of Yo Retro. He is on YouTube as KaoticBPR. And Christopher Camera actually shouted him out. Brian Robinson is his real name, if you will. He does some of these really cool attract modes. This one is for Tales of Arabian Nights, which is awesome. Basically, it's almost like installing a pup pack, essentially, but these are just when you're waiting for your tables, you can have these pop up. Tales of Arabian Nights. He did one for No. Of course, he did one for Theater of Magic, which actually takes into consideration the movie clips from, what's the name of the movie again? Shoot. Now You See Me, Now You Don't, something like that. So that is the movie, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, yeah. So this is from the clips from the movie that kind of go really well with Theater of Magic's theming. So very, very cool. If you're not familiar with those or want to know how to do those, I left a link to all of that stuff in my in the description of this video if you want to do that. So, good stuff. So, definitely check those out if you're interested. I hope Stargod is finished and not broken like Magic Castle. Obviously, Billy was. That's what you want to see, man. Mikey Yoon, welcome to the stream, buddy. And hey to the guys. I believe Thursday, Mad Dog. Primal Carnage was supposed to be free DLC at one point and got yanked. Is that so? I hadn't heard that. Mad Dog, welcome to the stream as well. Good stuff. Yeah, I tell ya, same audio on No Good Gophers with the VPX version of it, and it's amazing. Yeah, the Beamy. That's pretty cool, dude. It makes perfect sense. Caddyshack is obviously the inspiration for No Good Gophers and for Teed Off, the Gottlieb version. The movie came out a few years prior to both of those, so it made perfect sense for that to happen. So. Okay, next up, let's go to, we want to talk a little bit about, well, we've talked a little bit already about Volume Pack 4 reactions to the pinball, so I'll skip over that. I think, for the most part, everybody really loved Williams Pack 4. There's no question about that, quite frankly. We've talked about the sales already for At Games, but we do need to talk just briefly about this here. I think we brought it up last week. This is the X-Arcade Haptics Kit. It is on sale now. If you want one of these for your VR system or for your VR setup, that is available. There was an interview on Arcades Anonymous on Wednesday night that I had promoted last week. Hopefully, if you wanted to watch that, you did. There was about 160 people in the chat on that. They're more of an arcade channel, but they did cover this, and they did an interview with Avi from X-Arcade, is kind of their social media or marketing coordinator or whatever, and she answered questions to it, and it was really cool to see her interact with the group and give us all the answers that she knew about for the X-Arcade. So obviously X-Arcade is their sales group and their just the way they do things is polar opposite than at games. They are upfront and in your face. They will assist you. They get back to you quickly. If you've had to deal with their X Arcades support at all, they've been very quick to get back to things. So don't play the Sea of Thieves attract mode on YouTube. Immediately copyright issue. I've tried putting a video on YouTube to show it off and it wouldn't let me post. No kidding. Pinball Wizard, that's interesting. I guess it is Sea of Thieves production quality, so that's what they would recognize the music and just pull it right away. Yeah, they are really cool. I've actually considered pulling most of them off of my system, quite frankly, and just doing the Attack from Mars, because that's what the skin I have is, and just muting it. Some of them, if you do the attract modes, some of them are quite loud, and then some of them that are kind of quiet. I personally love the Godzilla one. It's like destroying things and the roaring of Godzilla. It all sounds really, really cool. But it is what it is. Alright, so this next thing I'm going to show is pretty cool. Now, I don't know if everybody does this or not, but this is something that I do. I had a Legion Go, which I had a flip grip for to play vertical pinball. And so while I loved this device, the battery life was absolutely horrendous, but it's also really good for, you can do OTG with this really easily. Run systems on here and kick them out to your 4KP or HD. I used it for a lot of different things. This is basically a Steam Deck, but this one has Windows capability, so it's a little more flexible and stuff like that. No, it's the song. It's a band that doesn't actually have anything to do with Sea of Thieves. Oh, that's right. Isn't it? Is it Sea Shanty? Didn't they do the Sea Shanties or something like that? I'm not really sure, Pinball Wizard, but I do recall there being. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So you got to be careful what you. The Caddyshack one would probably get striked too, I would imagine. That'd be a good point to be interested about. So if you play these or you're interested in these, the reason I brought this up is because I love this system so much. But I sold mine because I had every intention of buying the new one, the Legion Go 2. Well, guess what? The Legion Go 2 was announced, and it's finally ready for pre-order. However, it's nearly $1,400. So the original Legion Go was about $800 for the Z1 Extreme chip with 16 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte. So, but now with the tariff pricing, the Legion Go 2 is outrageously priced. So yes, you could get a Steam Deck. Yes, you could get the original Legion Go and do vertical gaming if you wanted to. You can get a ROG Ally X or even the ROG Ally Xbox handheld can all do these things, but they couldn't do the vertical format quite as well as I wanted. So I really wanted the Legion Go 2, but at this price point, I'm going to have to hold off on this sucker because that's pretty darn pricey for me even. So at any rate, I wanted to show it so that you guys knew about it. I tell you what, it's been absolutely crazy when we talk about that stuff. So, next up, let's talk briefly about some alternative tournaments. I mentioned briefly the Retro Legends tournament. So we're going to jump over to that. So this is Papa Brad's Retro Legends Arcade tournament that he does. Every week he posts 3 new things. There's 2 pinball machines and 1 arcade game. So this week was Batsugan, Attack from Mars, and Whitewater were the 2 pinball machines that are available. So you got some scores up there. Some of you guys are already in the chat that have already done this, which is awesome. I've seen Biggie D in my chat here quite a few different times. Dennis B, I think you've been on here before. Sacro, Trelana Love, obviously you've done these as well. So this is just one of the many different tournaments that you can get involved in. So really good one there. If that's something you're interested in and you're looking for additional tournaments, that's one. The other one that I recommend is Calling All Ballers. So we've mentioned this in the past. And again, all of these iScoreds are in the description of this video. So if you're interested in doing these alternate tournaments, these are available for you to click on. So this is week 2 of Calling All Ballers. So we've got Space Shuttle Deluxe, which if you have is a pretty cool table. I've actually really liked that one. It's pretty cool to go through the modes on this one. You can actually have some real fun with it. So Bubbles, I know nothing about. I have no idea. That's an arcade game. I've never heard of Bubbles in my entire life. So if anybody knows about it, I'm all for it. Dennis B, you can always go for some Tiger Electronic handhelds, almost as good. You know what? You're absolutely right. Dennis B, I think you're about the same age as I. I think we established this week on my Discord. Tiger handhelds were awesome at the time. And that was prior to my getting a Game Boy in '89 when it actually came out. And I had TMNT Fall of the Foot Clan, and I had eventually Link's Awakening and Super Mario, and of course the amazing Tetris. Right out of the box was one of the greatest games ever. And then this week on Calling All Ballers, if you guys have never heard of it, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a game that's available on Pinball M. So if you're interested in that, I think it's only a couple dollars if you wanted to purchase that. Pinball M itself is free. You get Wrath of the Elder Gods for free. This table you would actually have to pay additional for. And you can also play a demo of this, the Steam version, if you're interested in it. So, you had the TMNT one. I think everybody did. If you liked Ninja Turtles back in the late 80s, which most of us did, the Fall of the Foot Clan was a stupid, simple Game Boy game, but we all loved it. I still try to play it once a year and beat it. It's super simple to go through. So, that is that. So anyway, lots of different alternatives to these tournaments. And then the last one I will pub as I did last week, the Daily Grind. So this is the one that's exclusive to my Discord, where we do a single table every day. The winner of the game for the day actually gets to pick the game for the following day, and there's no repeats. We typically switch between 4KP, and then we jump over to an HD table. Try to keep that cadence up so that everybody can be involved a little bit. And you just need to post a picture of the number of the numbers. The first two numbers of the winning score is a code that actually helps you enter in for the following day for the code. And yeah, it's just another way to get involved. I know a lot of people have really, really enjoyed these. It's a lot of fun. I'm shocked at how well it's done, to be quite honest. People have really enjoyed the tournament, and it's just stupid simple. It's all honor system anyway. It's just play the games, enjoy them, and it is what it is. So anyway, guys, that's all I have for this week. We've had quite a week of interesting stuff going on, and I hope this stuff can get sorted out quickly. I lost my cat. She had to go out. So I was going to show her a little bit, but no, it is what it is. Left field trivia. Have you seen the 90s movie Falcon and the Snowman? A true story spy movie about TRW. A movie called RTX. No, I have not. I'm going to have to look that up, Mad Dog. I will tell you this. If you have a at-home gaming PC, there is a good likelihood that you really like me as a content creator, because most likely if you look in your hardware, you'll see GeForce RTX in your computer. So you are a fan of RTX, even if you don't know you are. So I always found that funny. I look over at my computer and I'm like, RTX, I'll be damned. My video card is actually a fan. So Billy Woods Mods, it all depends on how clear the audio is. I sneak stuff all the time, like on my Earth, Wind, and Fire video and the Supersonic video. If it's low and distorted enough, it flies under the radar of the copyright. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Billy Woods. You can probably sneak some things in there. I'm kind of shocked that sometimes you can get away with, like, when I did gameplay of, like, South Park and stuff like that, that you can get some of the intro videos and stuff you'd think would get caught, but they don't. So it is what it is. So anyway, that is the week for September 7th. We got a big week ahead of us. Just one game, Stargod Deluxe. Hopefully that goes well. And with any luck, we'll get some information on firmware updates. Magic Castle Deluxe, I'm hoping gets an update. This week would be a good week to do that. I think, as a show of good faith, if they can get that sucker updated and patched before Stargod Deluxe come out on Thursday, that would be fantastic. I don't know that that's going to happen. I hope that that's the case. It's still up for purchase. At Games is very, very slow. Rodley, you're not wrong, man. They have been very slow with a lot of this stuff, so it is a lot. So, at any rate, thank you guys for all taking some time out of your Sunday night. Go watch the rest of the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. It should be on for a little bit yet, and we will see you guys next week with more news and notes from all the stuff from pinball from this week from At Games and everything surrounding the digital pinball community. And remember, you only need one ball for greatness. Keep plunging.
Retro Tech.